Hello and welcome to That's Chris Speaks. Today is a day. It's December. I feel like it's the 20th. 22, 21, 20. It's the 20th. This is episode 189, I think. How are you? This is the Fat Squirrel Speaks, sorry. And I'm your hostess, Amy Beth, also known as the Fat Squirrel on Ravelry and the Fat SQRRL on Instagram. Hi, how are you? It's almost Christmas! I almost said in the United States. Anywho, we're very close in home stretch. And I'm very relieved. My partner and our daughter are in they have a tradition that every year they go to, well, for the last, this is year number 5, I think. Maybe it's year number 4. I can't remember. But they go to the Mega Caverns in Louisville, which is like 2 hours away. And they do this is the first year they're doing the actual zipline course. Before they've done the ropes course, which has zipline elements. But this is the first time they're actually doing the full-on ziplining. So, fingers crossed. What time is it? Are they there? Are they actually doing it? I'm kind of concerned that my daughter might... Okay, they're actually doing it probably. Putting out good energy. That she doesn't get freaked out. Because it's expensive, and if she freaks out, it won't be good. Anyhow, I have time to record. Yay! So this week's episode will have some shenanigans, and it'll have a bunch of knitting. There's no spinning. I saw this funny thing. Yeah, right? This is atrocious. And it will also have, I know, what did I do? I signed up for the Three Water Charm Club for myself for Christmas, because clearly that would make sense for somebody who hasn't spun a thing in a month. What is wrong with me? I mean, really? What kind of broken am I? I'm all the brokens. Anyway, so I'll have knitting, and then I'll have some shameless self-promotion about a pre-order that's going to go up for the first of the year. That's national parks based, and I think that's all. Next week, I will draw the winners for if you donated to the podcast in November or December, so $1, yay! If you donate to the podcast in November or December, I will draw that next time, because next time will be the first podcast of 2017. I mean, of my podcast. What is that about? Adios, 2016. You've been a little crazy, okay? But I did get to meet Stephen West, so whatever. Okay, shenanigans. What do I have any time? Okay, so basically the shenanigans are just craft related, because dude, cold. I haven't even been able to walk the dogs because it's 7 degrees outside. And quite frankly, they're not even interested in that. By the way, I'm totally holding one of the things I'm going to show you, which has food in it. And Olive cannot stop looking at me. It's very distracting. Olive is one of our dogs. She's really staring at me very intently. Oh, before I forget. This is the Bosc cat. It's Bosc. I was going to tell you I don't know who it's by, but I have the internets right here. It is knit with Quince and Company, and I apologize, I don't know which one it is. I'm not sure which base, but it's the worsted weight one. So whatever that is. And the honey color, because it's the best color ever. This is a pattern, this is one of those things I knit, and the pattern is pictured in this yarn in this color, and I knit it exactly as it was. So anyway, it's the Bosc cat, B-O-S-C, and it's by Robin Ulrich, U-L-R-I-C-H, in case I forget to put it in the show notes, because I'm human and stuff. And it is in fact in Quince and Company Lark, because I am literally a copycat. Speaking of which, oh my gosh, I'm totally, okay, so by the way, everybody's going to cast on this Find Your Fades. So tempting, because your color combinations are gorgeous. But I just don't think I have enough in stash to make what I want to make. Which is ridiculous. I have so much yarn in stash. But I'm loving all of the different, I feel like I need a color consultation to do one. Because I want to do one that's outside of my normal color, my normal warm colors. Oh, that's ooh, that spun right round. Oh, she totally posted some of her color combinations on Instagram. You should look. Like, she's like, oh, I just had these in stock and I threw them together. And I was like, oh, Renee, why are you such a temptress? But anyway, there's this one that has like gold and amazing green. And but somehow also is, I know that makes it sound like exactly like it's my colors. Maybe it was. But anyway, there was something else about it. Now I have to look it up because I am doubting myself and all of the things. Okay, come on, internets, work faster. But I've got people waiting on you, internets. Oh, internets. Here we are. Okay, but okay, so it is totally light colors, but it has this strange, beautiful pop of like this like neon seafoam green with, I know that sounds, here, just look at it. Can you see it? Oh, stupid internet. Wait, I know, right? I just got mad at technology for being amazing. Sorry, technology, you are amazing. Okay, both those color combinations are crazy gorgeous. But look at how fun that one on the left is. What? So I want something like that to happen? I know, I'm bending down. But I totally need like a color consultation because I just don't feel like I can make it happen myself. Okay, am I sidetracked enough? I am, however, going to do one of the Goodrich Johnson's Hap shawls. And that was how this started. Okay, now I remember. One of the Goodrich Johnson's Hap shawls. And I am also exactly copying her color combination. Now hers is knit in Jameson and Smith, which I am not doing because I just didn't have access to it and I was being cheap. Which is a terrible thing to do on a project that big, right? Like, you should just not be cheap on a project that big. But I just had a moment, okay? So shush, stop judging me. Okay? But so I copycatted her color combination just in another product and another yarn line. Also, I did not want to, whatever. All of the reasons that I'm telling you that you don't even care about, that's the reason. Okay, so I'm going to knit Hansel. I think is going to be my New Year's knit. I know, I still have to finish my building blocks cowl, which I do really want to finish because it's really gorgeous. But I'm just totally being a slacker. Also, I'm not being a slacker because I have lots of other things I'm working on. But like, check out this nonsense of gorgeousness. Oh, I can't tell you. So it's totally like a giant garter square. But I love this color combination. Okay, oh, it's so pretty. It's like gray and green and brown and teal, but like that dark, dirty teal. Oh. Okay, so now that's enough of me blathering, except for the next 40 minutes, which I'm also gonna be blathering. But anyways, our shenanigans. Oh, we're going backity back. Do you feel like that? That middle thing was all parenthetical. It was me talking about the hat. See? This, anyway. So anyway, we're talking about shenanigans. This is a crafting adjacent shenanigan. It's so cold that there's hard to do any other shenanigans. So this is Harrisville Designs. This is their loop and their Pro Loop loom. It's the big one. It's a Christmas pot holder. Yay! I'm pretty excited about it. I need to make 2 more because I have enough for 2 more. This is exactly copy. Oh, I'm so unimaginative. So I do knitting and not like flipping oil painting or something. I like a pattern, people. But this is exactly one of their patterns that you can find on their website. Some people call that a website. At Harrisville Designs. Under the, like under where you can buy the loops, the loom, there's a section or there's a little place that has the, why are you watching this podcast? Why are you doing it to yourselves? I'm really sorry, guys. I should edit that out because I'm not actually that sorry, but I'm a little sorry that I'm not a more organized human. You know what I mean? A little sorry. So if you go to the Friendly Loom on Harrisville Designs, then one of the things under the Friendly Loom is the Pot Holder Pattern Wizard. And you can map out like whatever you would like your pot holder to look like, or they have some preset ones as well. So yay, that. And then the second shenanigan is that Taupe and I, that's my daughter, who is almost 10, 2 days. That's why they're going to the zip line, 'cause it's someone's birthday. We totally made birdseed ornaments. What? We did. So you can find the recipe. I think if I just Googled birdseed ornaments, and it was a recipe that's published by the Audubon Society, so I felt like it was safe. And really, it has a lot of stuff that you would have at home. Well, birdseed, obviously, is a big component. But the other part is flour, water, corn syrup, and gelatin, unflavored gelatin, not Jell-O gelatin. Luckily, I went through a phase where I really felt like bone broth was going to save me. And so to supplement bone broth, sometimes you add additional gelatin. So we just happen to have some gelatin on hand. But even if you don't, you can just get Knox gelatin, the unflavored kind. But aren't they cute? So you boil the corn syrup in the water, and then you add in the flour, and then you, and the gelatin, sorry, you put the gelatin in the heated water and corn syrup mixture to dissolve it. And then you pour that into the flour in your bowl, and then you put in the birdseed, and it's super, I should say it's super messy. It's not like an explosion of birdseed in your kitchen or anything, but it is relatively messy because you're making like a goopy paste that's going to hold these dudes together, and they really do hold together. So you make this paste up, and then you press it into cookie cutters, and it suggests to spray them with cooking spray, which we did. I don't really know that you needed to because it didn't seem like they were going to stick at all, but whatever. We just did what we were supposed to do. I did put down like an Amazon box that we were going to recycle. I put that on our counter because it does get kind of messy, and that way you're not stressed about it as much. But it is fun because you get to pack all the stuff, and your hands are gross. It's a bowl of like water that's you're just dipping your hands in to try to get the gunk off of them. It's fun. And then you just use like a drinking straw, or we had some like kebabs cure thingies to put a hole in them, and then you can put the little thing in there. Yeah. And I would love to say that our birds have gone crazy over them, but we just put them out yesterday, and it has been really cold, and well, nobody has eaten any of them, so we'll see how it goes. If nothing else, the squirrels, I think. Okay, you can break it off with your teeth. I was like, maybe it's too hard, but it's just I didn't actually eat it for real. Whatever, it was like peanuts and sunflower seeds. It's totally gonna eat that for real. So they were very fun. And this is why Olive keeps staring at me, because she's like, ooh, that looks like a chew bone for me. It's not, Olive. You would probably like it. Put it there. Okay, so now let's talk about actual knitting and spinning, shall we? Okay, I have some finished objects. Now let's see if I can match them up with what they actually are. Right? Okay, we'll do it this way. The first one is the Exeter hat, and it's by John Horigan, Horigan. And it is written for a DK yarn, and I believe that this pattern is free, if I'm not mistaken. I used... Wait, no, it's written for sport. Excuse me. It is written for a sport weight yarn. Here is mine. I used the Cloudborn DK, which is why I got confused about the weight. This is that craftsy yarn that I was talking about a little bit about last time. But it does run one size off, in my opinion. And I've seen other reviewers say the same thing. Excuse me. So for example, the things I had knit that I needed a fingering weight for, I purchased sport, and this I needed sports for, so I purchased DK. And that yarn is called Cloudborn. I'm trying to remember if there's a special other thing it's called. Cloudborn. I am a terrible podcaster because I can't remember. It's Highland. That's the special word that's in it. Anyway, Cloudborn Highland. This is DK. And I knit this with US 3s or 2s. I cannot remember. But anyway, I did it just like the pattern suggested. I have a giant head. If it's plenty big around, if I were going to make it again, I would make it deeper. I even made it a 1/2 inch deeper than was suggested. But again, I didn't measure it when it was stretched, and your rib is much taller when it's skinny. And it's a gift, and the person who's giving it to it has no hair on, or you know, he's a shaved head, so it'll probably fit better anyway. But so there's that. It's all 2x2 rib, and I like the decreases on the top. It does the square decreases, which I find can kind of, I should tell that I'm looking at, mine don't look very great. But, but sometimes when I do the square decrease on the top, it looks really wonky, and it did a pretty good job. The recipient will not care. So there's that. I don't know why I'm putting it on top of there, because then I'll just have to get it off again. So there's that. And then the next thing I have, oh, we'll just go by patterns. Okay, so that's done. Okay, the next thing I made were Boxing Clever, which is by Stitchnerd Designs. It's another free pattern. It is for a cowl, and it's written for Chunky Aran or DK yarn. And I have one that's blocked and one that's not. So here they are. Here's the unblocked one. And here's the blocked one. Now this one is slightly longer because the person it's for, I thought would appreciate a longer cowl than the other person. This one is blocked. This one is not. So you can see it as you're knitting it, it's a little bit more warbly, but that works itself out. This is hand spun that I made. The color that's in it is from Spun Right Round. I think it was called Dirty Bird or something. Did I make that up? It sounds right. And then it's just 2 strands of natural undyed. So I said this is the longer one, and I made it 5 squares tall. Mine was at the Aran gauge. So there's that one. Sorry. I need to do a homemade haircut. Or maybe I need to actually splurge and have a real person cut it. Maybe every like 3rd haircut, I should have a real human cut it. Who knows what they're doing. And then this is the shorter version, which is not that much shorter, but a little bit. But I was afraid if I made it even one more, that, no, it totally would have worked. I should have only made it 3 deep instead of 4. It'll still be appreciated, I think. I used to not be a fan of the shorter cowl, but I gotta say, Froggy Monkey and DJ Knits a lot and gifted me, I can't remember, it's the Bakery Bears, and I can't remember what the cowl itself is called, but anyway, it's the Bakery Bears, that one of their designs, and it's this size, and I really like it a lot. So I'm knitting more. I'm gonna knit a couple more, one for me and one for the kiddo, but these are for my aunts for Christmas. So there's that one. And then, next pattern on my lap is the Basic Hemmed Hat pattern. It's by 3 Kittens Needle Arts blog. It is on it's listed on Ravelry, but then it kicks you to the blog to print the pattern or to view the pattern. So again, it's called Basic Hemmed Hat pattern. It's a worsted weight pattern that has a really deep hem, and this one is for Taupe Grace. It's her Crazy Pants Christmas hat. I told her it's Christmas tree camo. So this is Knitty in Colors worsted weight. I believe it's called Nordic Christmas, but I'm a terrible human and I don't have the tag. But I'm pretty sure there's the word Nordic is in it. So it's either Nordic Christmas or Nordic Tree. But I think it's Nordic Christmas. But look at this pom-pom, yo. What? I won't deny, in my head, the hat was going to look like this. See the decreases where it's just more distributed and less flashy. Like, that's actually called flashing. I don't mean just flashy, although it is flashy. Wait, is it called flashing? Did I just make that up? I think that's a thing. But the kiddo really dug it. She thought it was awesome. So I had no worries. Again, I have a giant head, but it fits her, even though she is a human size head. But the nice thing is it has this really deep hem, I think it's 4 or 4.5 inches, one or the other. It's a free pattern. And so it's got double weight on your ears, which is excellent, especially when you're doing one of these lovely superwash yarns. They're super soft, but not always the warmest. Or at least, and to me, they aren't. Anyway, so there's that. Isn't the turnip cute? It's crazy, as is she. And then the last finished object, yeah. The last finished object I have to show you is I did a test knit for Millie and Bella, but let me see what her actual human name is because I don't remember. Isn't that the worst? I gotta be honest with you, I'm really horrible at remembering names. So I always am tickled that I can remember one of your two names. Like, I can usually remember either your human name or your Ravelry name, but I'm not very good at remembering both. There it is, Melissa Sibley. See, I recognized it, I just couldn't pull it out of my hat. So it's the first Lori set, and the pattern comes with both the headband, which is like one of those thick headbands for your ears, which I love so much and looks so cute on people. They look awful on me, like awful. But anyway, so I test knit her hat pattern. I'm trying to see if I can find the seam. So again, it's Melissa Sibley, and this is the first Flurries set. This is the hat portion. And here is my finished object. This is hand spun from it's BFL. Just admire my hat while I'm thinking, okay? Spun right round. No, it's not spun right round. I'm talking about her too much. Into the World. Jiminy crickets. So the pattern is subtle. It has ribbing, and then it has a lovely, she calls it a thermal texture. And then it has these like just little welts in there too. So it's kind of fun when you make a slouch, and there's a regular version and a slouchier version. I picked the slouchiest version. But the nice thing about the welts is they kind of help. Like if we call this, let's pretend this is called vertical ribbing. No, let's call this horizontal ribbing because it swishes horizontally. Okay, if this, your normal ribbing, is called horizontal ribbing, then I think welts sometimes can act as vertical ribbing, right? So it's nice when you do want to have a slouchy hat. I feel like when there's that, the welts kind of help it to hug onto your head in the back and keep it in place a bit better. So what I was trying to say is, you don't get as much subtlety of the stitch pattern with hand spun or variegated, but that's kind of all I had on hand and what I wanted to make it with. But you would get more of the definition of the pattern. But the nice thing is the pattern is not challenging. Like sometimes when you're doing like a cable or like a complicated stitch pattern, you're like, dude, if I'm going to do all this work, it better show up. This is easy enough, intuitive enough, that you don't care if it shows up. I mean, you don't care so much that it shows up all of the individual stitches that you made. Do you know what I mean? Like it's more more that it kept it interesting for me than it showed up as much. Does that make sense to you? So anyway, she'll have that pattern out soon. Okay. And then works in progress. So works in progress, I started, oh, that's not what I thought it was. They're in my purse, that's why. We went to see that Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find the movie, and so I was working on a pair of socks. I had cast on plain stockinette socks out of Nomadic yarns and one of her Christmas colorways for that, so I was going to show you those, but they're in my purse in the room, so another day. Works in progress. Oh, I worked a bit more on my shawl. This is the Interlude by Lisa Haynes, and I am knitting that with Barrett Wool Company. They're worsted weight. So I knit a bit more on that. So I got this section. This is, the blue is called Bluff, the darker is called Peppercorn, and then the greenish gold is called Honey. So yeah, it's been wadded up because I haven't worked on it in a while, but I did get this blue section done since we talked last. Yay. So I think I'm going to really dig it. Because I really love my Quaker yarn stretcher that's a similar weight yarn. Because while I love knitting shawls, I think I like to wear scarves more. You know what I mean? Like not your traditional rectangle scarf, but I like the longer, shallower, just wrap them around kind of things, and I think that'll be perfect. That's right, so cute. Anyway, so that's fun. And it continues to be a very enjoyable knit. And then the last thing I have to share that's in progress is, oh no, do I not have the name of it? The Parula cowl. Oh, look, my hat. The Parula, P-A-R-U-L-A, Parula cowl by Kelene, Kinnersly. It's K-E-L-E-N-E, Kinnersly, K-I-N-N-E-R-S-L-Y. I'm doing these all because I'm afraid I'll forget them in the show notes because I have so many things. It's crazy pants. And this is also a free pattern, and it has, here she is. So it's that fun quilted stitch. Wink. And here's mine. I just started it this morning because I just finished that one other cowl. So here's mine so far. It is knit. I am knitting it with the fluffiest fluff balls in the entire universe. It's really kind of crazy. This is also the Craftsy yarn. This is Superwash Cloudborn, Superwash Merino Bulky. There's Taupe, which is that one, and there's Ivory, which is that one, and there's Sky Blue, which is that one. I love this color combination. I wish this blue were slightly less clear and just had a little bit more gray or brown to it. But this is for Tova, and I think she'll dig that it's super bright like that. Anyway, I don't know. I've not used this yarn except for this. I would not make this yarn into a sweater because I do think it would just disintegrate. I could be wrong though. That's just like my guesstimate. But it is so soft. So if you need a yarn that's superwash for a kiddo who, this is a cowl, so it'll be right up here. So I definitely want it to be soft. She's so excited because this year is the first year in the winter time that she's had contacts. So she can wear a cowl without her glasses fogging up. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm pretty jealous of that aspect, right? I don't want to get contacts, but that eye surgery looks kind of exciting because you could just wear these all the time, right? And you wouldn't fog up your glasses. Anyway. So I think the pattern calls for 90 yards of each. And I think these, or no, I think it's like 60 yards of each or something. It's not very much. And these all have 100 yards per skin. But yeah, so there it is so far. Yay! It's just a little snugger one. I'm very excited. I have it here. I'm going to make one for myself. And I'm going to make mine with this hand spun, which is from Renee. It's spun right around. And this Cascade Eco Wool. Right. This I don't think is a big, it's not as thick a gauge, but I can just kind of make mine a little bit extra. Right? I'm excited about that. I want to knit all the things. I'm definitely in a knit all the things moment. I'm not getting as much done because I'm like, oh my god, I totally want to do that and that and that and that and that. Oh, but then I should also spin something. Oh, and then also make some cookies. And then, oh wait, we need more cookies. And then, oh, maybe some more cranberry bread. And then, oh, right. I need to just give up the internet. I really should do that in the future. I can't though. I mean, I could, but I mean, obviously you can do anything you want to. But it may not be it may not be a wise business decision. But like, I should just give up the or you know what I should do? I should get one of those like biometric lock boxes. Crazy musings of a crazy person. First world problems. Okay, all of these things, self-acknowledged idiocy. Okay. Okay, then moving on. I should totally get one of those biometric lockboxes and then put all of my internet devices in it, and then I should only be able to get into that box for like an hour a day. That's what I need to do. Like maybe like an hour in the morning and an hour at night. That would probably get a lot more done. Instead of being like, I wonder what the Lego Minecraft sets are doing right now. Okay. Oh, I wonder if I should look at all of Goodrich Johnson's hap shawls. Okay, yeah. Right. Oh, what is yeah, clearly I should do the hashtag find your fade shawl. That's a rabbit hole. Oh, maybe I should get out my stash and look at all that. That's not productive time. Out of control. Just shut up and watch a crappy TV movie about Christmas and get some stuff knitted, lady. Right. Anywho. Yes, I have watched some really unfortunate Christmas movies this season. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have. So the last thing is shameless self-promotion. If you don't want to stick around, I'll see you next time. Bye. If you do want to stick around, you're my favorites. Oh, I said it. There'll be an update. Yeah, there's an update. I started to say episode, but then I actually did say update. Anyway, there'll be an update January 1st. And then I think I'll just, so January 1st is a Sunday. And then I think I'll let it run through the Saturday. Because, you know, you got stuff going on. It's holiday times. Okay? Okay. And it'll be an all National Geographic. Gosh. It'll be an all National Parks update. So it'll be pre-orders. Pre-orders will probably go out in 4 to 5 weeks, is what I'm estimating. And here they are. So the first one, here, I'll show you the bigger ones first, and then I'll talk about the little one. So, this is the fabric. Right? It's snow globes of the national parks, people. Right. If you get a large wedge, I can't guarantee that you'll have all, okay, none of them have all of the national parks on them. But the large wedge, I can't guarantee that you'll have all of the potential national parks that are on this fabric. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. But if you get a sweater or an Aran sweater, you will get all of the available parks on your bag. So there's a sweater size. And there's the Aran sweater size. So your parks may include, you've got Carlsbad Caverns. You've got Yosemite. You've got, now yes, you may get one in a fold. Right? Yeah, okay, he's not repeated. Oh, so that is kind of a tricksy one. I apologize. Oh, but he's on the other side. Okay. You could get Yellowstone. You can get Acadia National Park. And Petrified Forest National Park. And Rocky Mountain National Park. And the Everglades. And Crater Lake. Oh my gosh, Crater Lake. And Great Smokies. And Dinosaur. And Glacier. And Grand Tetons. And Grand Canyon. And Volcanoes. And Zion. Right. So when did your love affair with the national park system begin? This is when mine began. I know that was like the worst. I asked you a question and then immediately cut you off. But in the interest of time, pause it and tell me. Now, then you can unpause it and I'll tell you. Okay? Okay. Just pause it and then unpause it. Okay. My love affair with the national park system began when I was in the 7th grade. I always get 7th grade. My 7th grade teacher and my science teacher and my 4th grade teacher have similar look to them in my memory, even though they did not actually look alike. But in my memory, they're like, you know, 45-year-old white dudes who wore corduroy jackets, and they kind of look the same, even though they didn't really look the same. But in my memory, they kind of do. So that's why I got a little confused. 7th grade in science class, our science teacher had pictures of all of the national parks everywhere, and he was obsessed with the national parks and did everything he could to tie all science into the national park system. How cute is that? So ever since then, I have been particularly in love with Glacier National Park, although I've never been there. The only national park I've ever been to is the Great Smoky National Park. Smoky Mountain National Park. It's called Great Smoky Mountain. Yeah, Great Smoky Mountain National Park. It's the only one that's even remotely close to me. It's still like 5 hours away. Okay, there is, now that there's one, the Cuyahoga County one, or the Cuyahoga one, that's newish though. There's, you know, but that's kind of within 5 hours. And there's one in like northern Michigan, but that's like 12 hours away. I go to like Colorado by then. Michigan, why are you so tall? Anyway, one day I will get to go to Glacier National Park. One day. One day. Please. It's okay if I don't. I can look at pictures, but it would be nice. Okay, but then the next one I want to show you, I will offer, I believe, a sock plus size. So this is the sock plus size. It's the size that's really good for like a hat or something like that. Like a worsted weight one skein project. And I'm offering it in a scaled down version, but I have to tell you, and I will try to make this very, very clear on the listing, that because the print has been scaled down significantly, the park names are much less clearly printed. Like you can make them out, except for Dinosaur, which you cannot make out. Dinosaur National Park, but luckily it has a giant dinosaur, so it's kind of clear. Of all of them that wouldn't be clear, that's the good one to not be clear. But did I say Green Canyon on the other one? I can't remember. I'm sure I did. Anyway, so you can see that they are much. So I'll try to offer like a close-up picture when I do the update. There you go. So I know a lot of people really love a small bag, and I think, you know, the spirits of the park is still on there, but I do want to be very clear that the printing, just because it's such a small gauge, the printing is harder to read. But you could have it. So anyway, so there's that. So again, that'll go up January 1st, and it'll be available through that next Saturday. I think it's like January 8th or something. And that'll be an unlimited pre-order. I don't think, but I still think I can get them out in 4 weeks. So I don't think that will be like a crazy call for them. But anyways, I think that's all. Oh my gosh, right. Anyway, I hope you have a great holiday season and a very happy new year, because I won't talk to you till after that, right? Yeah, that's right. I may even be a little bit late. No, I don't think I'll be late. Okay. Taupe has to get a baby tooth pulled on the Monday, but I record on Tuesday, so I should still be okay. Okay. Right. Let me just, okay, aside. So we went to the dentist to get her teeth cleaned. Why I have her teeth cleaned in December, I do not know. That is the worst, like, oh, surprise, $250 later moment. But anyway, I love her dentist. Her dentist is lovely. But she has a baby tooth that has some decay on it that they've been kind of keeping an eye on or whatever. And it's next to a permanent tooth, and it's a molary kind of tooth, but it's only gonna last like another year at the most because the root's already starting to dissolve. And so they want to pull that baby tooth because they don't want the decay to get onto the permanent tooth, which, okay. So they're gonna pull her tooth. And they numb her and everything like that. But they've historically given her nitrous. She had a bunch of dental work done like 2 years ago. And they gave her nitrous to have that done. And so they told me like that they could do the nitrous again. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And then they gave me the estimate for the bill. It's like $150 to do the nitrous. Okay, I'm just like such the worst mom. But whatever, I don't care. I am kind of a terrible mom. It's like $150 for the nitrous. So I've been like trying to haggle with my child. It's one tooth. It's a baby tooth. Half of the root is completely dissolved anyway. I'm pretty sure they're gonna numb her and go geek, 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 and then it's gonna come out, right? She's gonna be completely numb, right? It's not like she's gonna be in any pain. The nitrous is only there so that it's less anxiety inducing. So we've totally been trying to bargain with her. Like, it's not like I'm not paying for it, but I'm like, but I'll give you $75 if you can. Actually, it started at $25 and it got up to $100. And she's like, no, it's still. Just trying to bargain. Dude, I would do it. I mean, yes, I will take your $100 to just not have the nitrous. Fine, numb me. I mean, it's not like I'm doing it without painkillers. I also offered her $200. No. Yes. I also offered, because it's going to be $350 to get this tooth pulled. I also offered her $200 if she could manage to get that tooth out before. I don't think she's been working hard on that phonic. I've given her too much. Just give her less stuff. She's got more motivation to get that tooth out of her head. I'm the worst. I'm sorry. I'm really not. It's, you know, I would be wrapping a string around that and throwing toasters off balconies and stuff. Come on. Get creative, kid. Anyway. And now the dog's fighting. Okay, I guess it's time to end this nightmare of a podcast. Anyway, so I hope you have a good holiday season and a happy new year and all the good stuff. Yay! I'll talk next time. Bye.